Hello, Sanibonani. Welcome back to another Thenjiwe live. I don't know whether to call it a conversations or a skulume or a talk show, but yeah, we are live and it is June 16. Happy Youth Day, Youth Endala, Youth Engane. Happy Youth Day to all of you. At 7, we will be talking about June 16. The topic will be, are we really free? Did their blood flow and grew freedom trees? No manje, it just vanished and like oposa in vain. So, but we will talk about that later on at 7. For now, we are talking about something that is very disturbing. Something very disturbing about our health, especially as Black people of South Africa. Do we do enough to invest in our health? Why is it that the healthier we get, the fatter we get? The wealthier we get, the fatter we get, the wealthier we get, the more diseases we start having. Do we invest enough in our health? And do our Black people invest in institutions that will help us ngempilo yethu? Or do we always have to go mese kunzima kakhulu? We all know ukuthi imoto mayifika kuma-kilometer athile, we send it ukuthi iyo-checkwa, ukuthi iyo-serviswa, ukuthi isa-fit for the road. And we all pride ourselves in the cars we drive. We even show off ukuthi I only drive German cars. But don't we know the importance of doing the same for imzimba yethu, for impilo yethu? It's a topic enzima and people get offended mangabe uyikhuluma ngoba kuba ngathi kwenye inkathi unomona ngoba wena unga-afford ibhakede le-fried chicken for breakfast. Kuba ngathi unomona. We saw during lockdown level 1, we were fine eating food from home, but as soon as some restaurants I don't think they have opened, but takeaway places, we were back to junk food. Does that help us in any way? Our children, is it showing your child love? Ukumthengela chocolates every time they want it? Is it showing your child love ukuthi wena unamasoda agcwele ifriji anyone ekhaya ngoba wena maybe you grew up poor, so you just have ongcamnci full in your kitchen? Also, another topic I want us to address, we have a problem with drugs in South Africa, especially our youth. Youth endala has a problem with alcohol. Alcohol is a big problem in South Africa. Gender-based violence, most of the cases, there's alcohol involved. Not alcohol by the victim, but alcohol also by the culprit, because people, they do things they would never do when they are sober, even the way we dance. Mangabe sesi puzile, even I can dance, puzile, but I can never dance mangi sober. The English we speak, mases puzile, ubone ukuthi lo muntu lo could rule the continent ngalesi ngisakho kodwa siphuma mayiphuzile kuphela. Why are we so confident masiphuzile, and why do we wanna do izinto wrong masesiphuzile? But ke angikho ngedwa, because I am not an expert. I wanna introduce you guys to a lady and a good friend of mine who's gonna tell us about these health issues. We are gonna also invite you to be part of this, because this is a problem that we all face, that we all have. Youth endala has a problem with alcohol, but we are now facing a youth engane that is having a problem with drugs. Drug use ekhaya is a big problem. Some people have been saying, Sis Thenjiwe, I've been happy not smoking because it's so hard to get cigarettes. The ones we get, lambe are fake or what. How do we help ourselves to quit? How do we help our loved ones to quit? So we will be discussing all those issues and discussing where we can get help. Uthando is going to tell us about this nice clinic that is black owned, it's in Durban, and uzositshela ama-services abawenzayo that can help us ukuthi because when you are healthy you live longer, and if you live longer you're going to be wealthy, guys. There's no point ukuthi ube nemali kodwa ungabi healthy. It's very important to look after ourselves. The effort and the money we I don't want to say waste, but the money that we spend making sure ukuthi I only drink the best champagne from France, can we also spend it making sure I get the best medical help? I get the best food and everything else that's going to help me to be healthy. Let us welcome Nothando Msomi. And as we come in and as she greets and we greet her back and we tell her where we are watching from, please let us know ukuthi ubukela ukuphi. Thando.
Unjani?
Ngiyaphila Sithando sami, unjani?
Ngiyaphila. Thank you for having me.
It is absolutely my pleasure. Awusemuhle kanjena.
Ngiyabonga, ngizamile yazi.
16 awards. Who just becomes so beautiful every day?
No, ngivele nje ukuthi nje mina ngithathela i-blood purifier nje to enhance my skin, yabo. We have i-product esibiza nge-blood purifier eyenza nje ukuthi uvele ushaye i-glow nje sidididi. Unganekeleli ukuthi uvele uglow nje.
Yo,
uthi uhambe.
Because
we will.
We all need to glow. Let us talk about health. What do you think of health, especially concerning us Black South Africans?
Okay, firstly, ngiyabingelela everyone. And my name, as you said, is Uthando Ngwakamsomi. So ngiqhamuka eSithelo Clinic, which is situated in Durban, Kusmith Street, Esangro House. This is office number 522. So ngithanda ukuthi nje mhlambe siqale sishare a definition of e-health. So e-health is regarded as a state of physical, mental, and social well-being in which disease and infirmity are absent, right? So we can further define physical health as the condition of your body, taking into consideration everything from the absence of disease to fitness level, right? So there are many critical factors that can affect your health rather. Lifestyle, the way that we live, the food that we eat, if we're constantly drinking alcohol, if we're constantly smoking cigarettes, if we're constantly taking drugs, those are all things that end up affecting our health. Our environment as well. The environment that we find ourselves in, where you're constantly hanging out, you might not necessarily be a smoker, but if you hang out with people who smoke, that smoke actually ends up harming you. All right. So just a few tips to remember. That is something that we as Black people or as like the Black community, we don't really focus on. So things like eating the right food. We all need to know that we need to have a balanced diet. We need to drink enough water to sustain our bodies. We also need to get lots of sleep. So it is recommended that we do sleep for 8 hours per night. But there's been this thing yokuthi awukwazi ukulala 8 hours ungakabi millionaire, which is very, very wrong in the sense yokuthi if you are tired and you are fatigued, you won't be able to be a millionaire anyways, because your brain won't be functioning well. You will be more prone to getting diseases and things like that. So it's very, very important to take those things into consideration, especially the food that we eat. Like people who usually eat sugar and fizzy drinks and alcohol, you're more prone to things like mood swings. You will feel a bit fatigued. You can have trouble sleeping at night. And things like smoking, they lower your immune system, which is very, very important because your immune system is your first line of defense against diseases, infections, and all these things like that. So that we've noticed is that especially South African men, they don't usually go for regular checkups, and that's just the problem with us as a community. We don't really go for our checkups. are certain checkups that are routine that should be getting done at least once a year, even if you're not sick. Your blood pressure, to check whether your blood pressure is okay. If it's not okay, then you can initiate medication, because blood pressure has been associated to things like strokes and so forth, and heart attacks and so on and so forth. You also need to take your test. So your blood test is where you can check is intention or cholesterol. You know, something like your cholesterol, there's no symptom that shows ukuthi, oh sekubuhlungu ingalo because ngine cholesterol. It's regarded as one of those silent killer things. Ukuthi once you have cholesterol eningi, you can't see umuntu ehamba emgaqweni ukuthi oh loya une cholesterol, and you can't really say oh ngiphethwe ingalo or sengiphethwe unyawo because of cholesterol. So that's why it's very, very important to go and get.
Can I just stop you there, because there's something I really want you to make clear when it comes to cholesterol, because a lot of people, a lot of us tend to think abantu who are people who are bigger, it's fat people, and then abantu who are slim tend to think it's something that will never ever affect them. Can you take us through dangers of cholesterol and nokuthi ingena kumuntu onjani, who can suffer from it?
Okay, so that is the biggest misconception with regards to cholesterol. Ukuthi, if you are a person who is bigger in size, you are more prone to getting cholesterol, which is extremely false, because what cholesterol basically is amafutha that coat umthambo yakho yegazi. So cholesterol is mainly the main contributing factor to your cholesterol is the diet that we eat. Now, obviously, people's body shapes and body sizes are different. So some people can eat anything and never gain weight. It doesn't mean that if you eating takeaways every day just because when I was skinny, that oil is getting processed. No malawo mafutha aya processing wena lawo owadlayo. So that's why it's very, very important, because even umuntu ogqoka size 28 can have a higher cholesterol than umuntu ogqoka size 44. So cholesterol has got nothing to do with weight, but has everything to do with diet and the lifestyle that we're living. If you are drinking utshwala from Monday to Sunday, you are more prone to getting cholesterol than umuntu who is big and who's eating their vegetables, who's drinking the water, who is avoiding fizzy drinks. So that's why it's very, very, very important to go and get it checked out.
So, as I said when we first started, we always make sure we take our cars for a checkup. We take our cars for a service to make sure they are fit for the road. We invest a lot of money in making sure our cars are insured, our cars get the best service, and we don't go to just Nombani. We go to a mechanic that we trust. What can we do for our health to make sure ukuthi nakhona si right before kuze kufike, ngoba kuthiwa prevention is better than cure. So what do I do as Thenjiwe to make sure ukuthi things have been checked and get right? Yeah, please take us through that for both men and women.
Okay. So again, it's very, very important to have a relationship with a healthcare practitioner. So be it a general practitioner, you always go to your specialists, like people who specialize in certain things, like your gynecologists, rather, your men's health specialist. It's always very, very important that you visit a doctor at least twice a year to get your routine checkups, even if you're not sick, because I know some people, they're not very sickly people, but it's always good to just go and get like the things that get your blood pressure taken, get your blood test taken, go and get an ECG. So an ECG is basically a non-invasive and painful medical test that detects abnormalities in the heart. So these can pick up if your heart is not beating fast. I mean, if it's not beating at the right pace, So it's very, very important to get those done. And then as women, we need to go and get our regular pap smears, right? So a pap smear is basically a test where they go into the vaginal canal and they take cells and they put them on a slide and they test for any abnormalities like cancer, womb, all those things, and they can pick up infections and all those things. And that from the time that you are sexually active. So whether I know there has been a misconception that only older women need to get a pap smear. From the time that you are sexually active,
I cannot hear you. I don't know what's happening with the sound. I don't know what's happening with the sound, Tando. I do not have an idea of what is happening. Please unmute your mic. It says your mic.
it says you muted my mic.
It told me you muted yourself. Yeah, we're good. We're good to go. We're talking
It
about
told me that you muted me, but anyways, that's fine.
technology. You're talking about
Hey,
lokhuzana indaba ye-pap smear. I know people, women, who either do it behind their husbands or boyfriends' back, or who do it, or who don't do it at all, because their men say, "Akho umuntu ozothinta umfazi wami laphaya, nobody can touch my wife down there." Can you explain
and at the end of the
who is listening now? Ukuthi it's not intercourse. We pap smear, and the importance of having a pap smear for abantu besifazane.
okay, firstly, nobody touches anybody down there. Okay, that's just the first thing that we need to take note of. They use what we call a spec and a brush. Nobody's fingers go into anybody, none of those things. They basically just in the vaginal, take a swab of cells, put it on a slide, and they to go. So it is very, very important so that you can detect things like infections, things like cancers. You know, some people you find that umuntu is struggling to have kids, maybe, and that is something maybe it's because of a treat like an infection that was left untreated for a long time, which could have been picked up had they gone for their regular pap smear test. So it is very, very important that as women, we go and we actually get our pap smears done. It's not, I know a lot of people think it's painful. It's not painful. It's just a little uncomfortable, and within a few seconds the discomfort is gone. It's as if nothing ever happened. So I'd really encourage women to just go and get their pap smears done. If maybe your husband or your boyfriend feels that they're not feeling comfortable, ask them to go with you. Ask them to go with you and see what actually happens. You can always even like Google these things, like Google the procedures, just to make them a bit more comfortable, because at the end of the day, this is your health. So I always say that you have to be selfish about your own health. As much as you are in a relationship or you are in a partnership with this person, at the end of the day, this will affect you directly.
Thank you so much. I hope, guys, yes, it is so important to get these things done and to get these checkups done. It's not even expensive. It's an amount of a round that you pay in a nightclub to entertain yourself. So it is very important to make sure that we do look after our health, because a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. We do not want to continue losing people because of carelessness when it comes to looking after ourselves. A lot of us are having new money. We are the first ones to have money in our families. So we are trying to pay isko. So I grew up not being able to buy this. I grew up not being able to eat this. So we are overcompensating, so much so that we end up ruining our own health and shortening a lifespan yet. And one of the most common cancers amongst men is prostate. And black men don't go for checks. Can you please take them through and the importance of making sure they get things checked? Thank you.
Okay, firstly, I would like to appeal to our men. Please come in for your regular checkups. The only time that men actually come in to see a doctor or to see to the clinic is only when they have problems sexually. So only when they start having weak erections, only when they start experiencing early ejaculation, only then do they then come to the clinic, you know. So it is very, very important to, the studies report that 1 in 8 men is diagnosed with prostate cancer. So that is, people might feel like that is a small number, but if you had to calculate that with how big the population is, that is quite a lot of people who are diagnosed with prostate cancer. Some people, so prostate cancer, you find that if you might have problems urinating, go to the doctor. You can also do self-tests, you know. You must just touch yourself, you know. I know that some people are not comfortable with that, but touch your testicles. Check for any hardness, check for any swelling, check for any pain if you're touching your testicles. Go for your regular STI screenings. I know a lot of but or girl or ama girlfriends or their wives asumuntu, if unkosikazi wami right nami right. No, that's not how it works. You can't test ngomunye umuntu. So you all need to go and get your urine test done, get your bloods drawn, so that we can also check for any STIs that might have developed. Maybe your wife, it hasn't shown on her, but you already suffering from that STI. So it's very, very important that men actually come to the clinic, and they're not ashamed of it. There's nothing wrong with it. You're not going to be seen as less of a man if you do it. It's perfectly okay. So I'd really, really encourage, you know, the statistics. I'd love to see more black men coming into clinics, coming in for something other than sexual health problems, you know, or early ejaculation and weak erection. Yes, it's important, but oftentimes we find that those things were actually caused by something else. So because you neglected getting your prostate checked out, now you're acting up, and only now you are coming in just because your bedroom dealings are affected. So it's very, very, very important. And prevention, again, is always better than cure. Just note 30 minutes to the doctor, get yourself checked out, and save yourself a lifetime of pain and you know, a lifetime of discomfort, because things like cancer are like very, very serious illnesses that that take quite a while to get, you know, fixed. So people need to come in and get these tests done.
And also save yourself a lifetime of embarrassment, because Tina, we will tell our best friends, and our best friends will tell their best friends, who will tell their best friends, ukuthi so and so finishes in a second or 1 minute, so and so is a 2-minute man, and it's something you could have prevented just by a 30-minute visit to the doctor. When it comes to smoking, a lot of us, especially a lot of women with children, when I say women, I include both mothers, sisters. Yes, women do smoke, but not as much as men. And most of the ones who smoke usually don't smoke at home. They'll smoke when they are in their own places, or if they live by themselves, but in our households, men still find it normal to smoke inside the house where there are children watching TV. The wife is sitting next to him. Omuye is even carrying a child on his lap, and he's smoking, because people still believe smoke will only affect those who are smoking. Can you take us through the importance of smokers being away from non-smokers, as well as the damages that smoking causes kuwena umuntu?
Okay, so the smoking subject is a very, very critical one, because I know that a lot of people, as you said, do have the perception yoguti if ngibhema mina ngibhemela ngedwa. But the reality is, if you're smoking in a room full of people, uyababhemisa nabo labo bantu. And secondhand smoke is way more harmful than the smoke that you ingested, because once it comes back out of your body, it's now coming out with carbon dioxide. So it's not just, we all know that carbon dioxide is regarded as a waste product, right? That's why we excrete carbon dioxide and we breathe in oxygen. So when the secondhand smoke comes out from you, that is when we get then people suffering, because some people actually end up getting things like lung cancer. This person has never smoked in their life, but because they lived with someone who smoked, they also end up getting lung cancer. And it's very, very important, again, to do your research. I actually recently reached just some of the things that are found in cigarettes. I mean, you find, they put things like nicotine, they put things like benzene. Mina ngazuthi benzene is the thing that you use to basically scrub everything clean, to remove labels and things like that. And those are found in cigarettes. So imagine if now you are taking benzene and you're putting it inside your body. What is that doing to you? And smoking causes so many different cancers. It will cause lung cancer. It will make you prone to getting izinto enjengo-TB. It will cause throat cancer, mouth cancer, gum cancer. All these cancers are actually come associated with smoking. So we need to be very, very careful, especially around children, because children are still developing, which means that their immune systems are not as strong as ours. So if you are sitting next to a 2-year-old, and this 2-year-old is ingesting tobacco, nicotine, and your carbon dioxide, then you are actually affecting your child. And it just shows that you are not a caring parent who does it. So not only for you is it important to quit smoking, but for everyone around you as well. We also have a full body scan that we do at the clinic, and we found that said she doesn't smoke, but her husband smokes, and the tobacco or nicotine had spiked in her body. You would swear that she smokes at least a pack of 20 cigarettes a day, but she has never smoked a day in her life. And this smoke is actually affecting her now, not just the husband. So that's why it's very, very important to just be aware of your environment. There's no need for you to be walking on the streets and you smoking and uhamba utelela everyone that you come across with that smoke. You need to also be very careful that some people are asthmatic. There are some people who are asthmatic and get actually asthma attacks from the smoke and everything else. So we need to just be very considerate of each other, and we need to take care of each other, because that's the way that we can truly go forward as a nation, by just taking care of each other and just being conscious of the things that we do around each.
Thank you so much. Fix, I will come back to your question. I am not ignoring it. I will come to your question. We're going to do my questions. And guys, if you are watching and you have any question, please do write it down so that we can try and assist you if we can. Another big problem that we have, especially in our communities, is thinking, I am rich now, I only eat out. I am rich now, I don't drink water anymore. Mina, I only drink puzneme nights. I don't want to say brands, but these energy drinks. I only drink energy drinks because I work so hard. And every day before I start my day, I have to have an energy drink. I don't have to drink water because I can afford fizzy drinks. What can you say to us about that? And Mina, I'm a rich parent. My parents were poor, so every day when I get home, I must give my children chocolates. All this food, the junk food that we eat, and we eat in excess. What can you say to us about that?
Okay, firstly, like I explained, with indaba ye cholesterol, that is mostly how we, people start developing izinto cholesterol from the food that we eat and the diets that we take. Water, your body is roughly made up of 70% of water, which means most of your vital organs actually need water in order for them to function. If you are dehydrated, you won't be able to think properly. Your kidneys won't be functioning well. Your liver won't be functioning well. You'll be have even your intestine and your colon will be functioning well, because people who drink less water, some people suffer from things like constipation. So it's very, very important, to drink at least. This is a minimum. This is an at least amount. At least 2 liters of water a day, just to make sure that your body is functioning well. And we also need to take into consideration the size of our bodies. If you're a bit on the bigger side, maybe it would be advisable just to drink a little extra water than somebody who, say for example, weighs 45. But again, your body. So I always encourage people to drink as much water as you possibly can. And then when it comes to the food that we eat, we need to make in a portion or in a serving, we are getting all our food groups. So we are getting our carbohydrates. So we can get our carbohydrates from rice, potatoes, and things like that. We need to get our protein from non-dairy products. So these are things like beans, your meat, your white meat, your red meat, all those things. And then we need to get our dairy well. So things like your milk, your cheese, and things like that. And then we also need to get our fruits and vegetables. Now I know that a lot of people, but I'm a veggie mambi and whatnot, but they are still important. And it's very, very important that we not consume the fruits and the vegetables that we like, but even the ones that we don't necessarily enjoy. Because at the end of the day, we do need all these vitamins, we do need all these minerals just to be sustained. And I always say that I would rather eat at home, because then at least I know how this food is prepared. Whereas at a restaurant, you don't necessarily know. I mean, there are some people who say they have secret recipes. So what do you know? How do you know what goes into that recipe? Then you're not. So we need to be very conscious of the things that we ingest into our bodies, because at the end of the day, these things are they're going to affect us in the long run. So we need to be very, very careful about that. And then number two, when it comes to children, now children, it's very, very hard for somebody to change their lifestyle once they grow up. So it's always best to teach them young. Encourage your children to have their vegetables. Stop giving your children chips exeni for breakfast. There's no need for umntanakho to be eating a stick sweet every single day. Just be very, very conscious and encourage your child to drink water, because I mean, when somebody grew up not drinking water, and then now this person is 25 or 30 years old trying to relearn how to drink water, it's very, very difficult. That's why you find adults saying amanzi mambi, because bona kubo vele abakhulanga bephuza amanzi. So it's very, very important to make sure that we teach our children from a very, very age that they actually need to drink water, they actually need to eat vegetables. And kids copy what they see from their parents. So if ekhaya bekudliwa ama-takeout every day, nami ngizokhula ngingapheki ngidla ama-takeouts every single day, and then it just becomes a never ending cycle, of which, again, a healthy nation is a wealthy nation.
Guys, your health is your wealth. You must decide now whether you want to be rich or you want to be poor. It is very, very important. We want to be a wealthy nation. We want to make sure that we eat healthy and we exercise izinto healthy. Speaking of exercising izinto, our bodies, we no longer go for walks because we have cars now. Why should I walk when I can drive? You even see people driving to the gym. Afike gymini, take a selfie, get back in the car, and go back home. Because I always question myself, people who go to the gym with full makeup on and then come out of the gym and nothing, no smudge, nothing. The face is still perfect. I'm like, when did you sweat? But yeah, that's a story for another day. Let people shine on Instagram. It's all right. We don't walk. We don't go for walks. Because when you think back, or when you look at people who are less moneyed, they're most likely to at least walk to the bus stop, at least walk to the train station, at least walk to work. And they are most likely to like walk places. That, as much as you are not aware, it's a form of exercise. The body is moving. People who work, especially in offices, because someone who works in a factory, as you're packing the shelves, you are exercising, even though you are not doing it purpose your exerciser. But a lot of people now who work in the office, out of the house, into the car, into the office, on my chair for 7 hours, 8 hours, back in the car, back home. How important is exercising for us? Thank you.
Okay. Exercise is very, very, very important for us. Like you said, just take a walk. And I understand that a lot of us are living very, very busy lifestyles, you know. People have work, people are studying, a lot going on in life. It's good to even go on YouTube, you know, there are 5-minute exercises that you can look up. You can get like a 5-minute exercise in before you go to work. Get in a few stretches, like a few yoga stretches and things like that. Maybe on a Sunday or a Saturday, take a hike. Know, just walk around the neighborhood. That way at least you have, you know, you've actually exercised your body. And it's very, very important because exercising helps with things like you think better, you know. It helps with people are always feeling fatigued. It also helps. Exercising actually does reduce fatigue. Like, I know it's a bit of a contradiction. I mean, uzokhathala vele mau exercise, but the more that your body moves, is the higher chance of body actually ungagcini usukhathala njalo. It also helps with lowering izinto enjengo-cholesterol, you know. And it's just very good for you. So I'd really encourage people, you know, just take a walk once in a while, and just do 5 minutes stretch in the morning, you know. Just do your 5-minute exercise on YouTube. Even just look at those, there are fitness bunnies everywhere on YouTube. Just look at what they're doing for 5 minutes, and at least you've done something, other than saying, because I'm sure you have 5 minutes to spare before you go to bed, you know. So I think we need to try and get things like that done, and normalize doing my exercises.
Yeah, thank you so much. And guys, exercising, if you are single, it can also increase your chances of meeting people. You're not going to meet anyone in your car. You're not going to meet anyone who's endlini. Go for a walk. You never know. You might just meet your personal person. Mhlambe you are locked alone manje nje because you didn't go for a walk before lockdown. Let's go for walks, guys. And ave kumnandi ukukhunyelelwa umuntu one-6 pack. Mina, the last time I saw a 6 pack was through Shaka Zulu. So, guys, please go to the gym. We also want to touch 6 pack. I've never touched a 6 pack. Hi, guys. Let us gym. Us gym. Let us go through some of the questions. Umzwandile Mzwayi Dlamini uthi ngicela ukubuza ngoba sengiwuyekile ugwayi. Ngabe kukhona okusizayo ukhucululwe umulwe wentuthu ebengiyifaka ngaphakathi kanye negazi libe clean, umuntu noma amaphilisi, okay, umuthi noma amaphilisi, ngidinga usizo. Ngibonge, ngisalindile sisithenjiwe. So uMzwandile is an ex-smoker. He quit smoking, so he wants to know ukuthi yini angayisebenzisa uma ikhona yoklina igazi, yoklina amaphaphu, so that his health can go back to being shuqu. Well done on quitting, Mzwandile. Siyakubongela kakhulu. Very, very well done. Yes, Thando.
So there are different ways that can actually angamsiza ukuthi keep the smoke, as I said. Number one, you can always get something to detox, you know, be it a detox tea, or anything that really, mostly detox teas. Number two, he can go and get a drip, what we call a detox drip. You can go to most private practitioners do a detox drip. Obviously, hospitals, government hospitals wouldn't do something like a detox drip. What they basically do is that they put a lot of vitamins and minerals that were obviously lost ngalesikhathi usabhema. So they put them into your body through IV. So this is through a needle, and it flushes out all the toxins. We also do a drip program at the clinic. So if he is in Durban, he can always come through corner and we can do the detox drip for him. So the best way that he can do it is to get a detox tea or to get a drip. But I would advise, that he gets a drip, because then at least a drip, once he's in consultation, then the doctor will be able to sort of gather what brand of cigarettes he was smoking, how long he has been smoking for, so that they actually know the different dosages that he actually needs to take in order for him to get rid of these toxins.
Yeah, guys, kunzima. We need to really look at ilokhuzana, at investing help here. Mzwandile, I hope you will get help. Isithelo Clinic can help you, especially if you are in Durban. This is their number. Please do take it down. They can assist you. Njoba esechazile uThando. We will still, before sivale nje sizokhuluma ngezinto ezenziwayo lapha esithelo nokuthi iqalwe kanjani. But okwamanje, let us just finish answering ama-questions lawa esinawo lana. Unonkululeko Shange uthi, hi ladies, thank you for this very interesting chat. How or where do I get to get a full body checkup, even though I don't feel anything now, but I have a family history of high blood pressure and diabetes? Thank you so much, Nonkululeko. This is very important. We were actually talking about it, was it yesterday or the day before, the importance of making sure we don't become like our parents, where we say, you don't tell your children izinto zasekhaya, because sometimes we go for checkups, odokotela basibuze any history of this ekhaya. You don't even know what killed your own mother. You don't know what killed your own grandmother, because children are not told ukuthi kwenzekeni. We need to tell our children family history, especially when it comes to health. That's why it's important ukuthi ubazi abantu bakini, so that you know the problems you are likely to face empilweni yakho as you grow. Let me just read the question again. Hi ladies, thank you for this very interesting chat. How or where do I go to get a full body check-up, even though I don't feel anything now, but I have a family history of high blood pressure and diabetes? Thank you.
Okay, so Nonkululeko, you can always go to any private practitioner. So be it a general practitioner or just like a private nurse practitioner, just research in your area and just tell them that you'd like to get a routine test done. So what your routine tests differ from different practitioner to practitioner, but they do take what we refer to as vital signs. So those are things like your weight, your height, your temperature, your blood pressure, your diabetes. They do also do a urine test, just to check for any sort of infections and whatnot. They do also, check for izinto ezinjengo, like they advise you on things like your pap smears and things like that. So you can just always go to the doctor and ask him if you can get those checkups done. They don't really require you to have pre-existing conditions, but it's always good again to know your family history, because oftentimes some things, you wouldn't say. For example, if a 9-year-old child comes into the practice, you don't usually uqhumele ukuthi ingane ena-9 years uyi-check ushukela. But if you know that there is a history of diabetes, then it's easier to, it will also remind you as the practitioner, ukuthi no, let me do a diabetes test for this child because there is a history. So it's always very, very important ukuthi if ufika kadokotela, disclose everything. That's another thing that we don't do. We tend to hide things from our doctors. But it's very, very important to disclose everything you know about your family history, everything you know about your own medical history. If you've had any operating that you know that you're allergic to, go and get your bloods done, so that you can pick up have any sort of allergies, because some people are allergic to certain types of medication. So at least when you go to the doctor, tell the doctor to, doctor, I'm allergic to penicillin, I'm allergic to panados, so that the doctor can then be able to help you easier. Tell the doctor, doctor, I'm sick, because there is maybe you just came in there and you had a headache. But if the doctor knows that you're asthmatic, there's certain medication that he won't give you. So it's very, very important to go for your routine checkups. And when you get to your routine checkups, be completely honest with the medical practitioner about your own medical history and your family's medical history.
Thank you so much. That is so important, especially about disclosing everything. Guys, there's a difference between medical doctors who are traditional healers and medical doctors who practice Western medicine. The Western medicine doctors that we are talking about today, they cannot Google your problems. Ababuli. You need to disclose everything, no matter how small you think it is. You might think I have a small kubula, disclose, let the doctor see it, let the doctor look at it, let the doctor touch it. Nothing is too small or unimportant. Let us learn to disclose. Doctors don't care. It disclose. If they ask you about your sexual history, do say if you've slept with 34 people. Don't try and impress them by saying you've only slept with 2 people. Let us learn to disclose. Your doctor wants what's best for you. They are not there to judge you. So please, if there's a smell somewhere, tell your doctor. Your doctor is not going to go around telling people. You're not going to wake up as an Instagram status. Tell your doctor every problem onayo. Siyabonga. Uthi ubongani Mkhonza. Awala mdlali. Our water is polluted with chemicals and toxins that can harm our digestive systems. Should we buy mineral water? And if so, what's the acceptable pH balance? Question yesifundiswa-ke lena. Our water is polluted with chemicals and toxins that can harm our digestive systems. Should we buy mineral water? And if so, what is the acceptable pH balance? Thank you.
Okay, so when it comes to into njengamanzi, that is a personal choice, because quite honestly, as much as the water we get from the taps has some sort of chemicals, we can't really guarantee that the mineral water doesn't have the chemicals, So that is a personal choice. So I think either one, whichever one works for you, whichever one works for you, whichever one you're comfortable, just as long as you're consuming your water. And in terms of an acceptable pH balance, I'm not really sure on that, but nje, just drink your water. Ngabe iqhamuka from mineral water or from the tap or from the fridge, or you boil your water first, it doesn't matter as long as you're just consuming your water.
Thank you so much for that, Tando. And guys, we've always been advised to boil our water, even if it comes out of a tap. Boil it and put it in a fridge. And also let us make sure, Uti, when you wake up in the morning, you empty your kettle and put fresh water, because you don't know is numbers. You don't know what is in there, and always open and check. Because you are busy boiling, you are now drinking water with a spider inside. So let us make sure cleanliness is next to godliness. So let us make sure we do drink water, and not all of us can afford to buy water. Like Mkhonza is saying, yes, you can buy mineral water, and also research has shown us ukuthi some of these companies just bottle your dear old tap water, put a name on it, and put it in the shelves as $8, and then now we buy. So you're just buying the packaging. And also we've been advised, if you are buying your water, avoid buying water in plastic bottles. Unfortunately, a lot of it is in plastic bottles. The plastic is not good for you. It can be cancer causing. So it's a long question in the Bayaman's. Because once everything and anything has been commercialized, there will be dodgy companies azofika nawo nento zawo. But let us avoid things ezinento unnecessary, like njengoba ndokade esho earlier, let us try and exercise instead of relying on energy drinks. Just going for a jog can be your pick me up, and it really does help. Siqhubeke nembuzo. Athi uNolwandle Mthombeni, ngicela ukubuza, mawubhema ungakanani umonakalo owenzekayo kumuntu othandana naye noma engabhemi la ukhona, kodwa kunothelela okungakanani? Ngiphinde futhi, ngicela ukubuza, mawubhema ungakanani umonakalo owenzekayo kumuntu othandana naye noma engabhemi la ukhona, kodwa kunomthelela ongakanani? Back to
Okay, so if engabhemeli eduze kwakho, then it doesn't really affect you that much. But again, we can't guarantee, when you are being intimate with this person, say kade phumile uyobhema emnyango, there's still a bit of tobacco left on that person's lips, still a bit of tobacco left in that person's mouth. So at the end of the day, you are also ingesting it in one way or another. Because I can guarantee you that ayisuki yonke, so he can maybe smoke on his way to come and see you, and then you are kissing this person and you're getting intimate with this person. So you will get affected as much as you won't get affected at a large scale if he was smoking right next to you. But at the end of the day, it will affect you in some way. So we need to just be very, very careful. Maybe ask them, to brush their teeth and use like izinto enjengo-Listerine, izinto ey'kanjalo, like mouthwash, just to get rid of any excess smoke or any excess tobacco or any excess chemicals that are still left in his or her mouth right after they had just finished smoking.
Hey, this is very interesting. And guys, can I also just add, when it comes to smoking and your partner doesn't smoke, if your partner smokes and you don't smoke and they are asking you how it affects you, ask them to kiss a dirty ashtray. Then they will know what it feels like when you are kissing them. Or put, the stamps or cigarettes, put them in a glass, add water, and then ask them to drink it, because that's how their kiss tastes, so that they can understand. There's nothing romantic about kissing an ashtray guy. So ashtrays are no. If you do smoke, make sure you brush your teeth, you wash your face, and you wash your hands as well. Wash your hands. Tobacco kills, it's not health. Wash your hands. Fikani Kambule Humble, Uti, this is an interesting topic indeed, and some of us, we are shy to talk about it. Referring to the point of prostate cancer, apart from sexual relations, how true is it that prostate cancer can be also caused by living a celibate life? Is it true?
No, that is not true. If prostate cancer has got to do with sex or the amount of sex that you are not having. Prostate cancer can develop from a lot of different things. Some people, it's a history in the family, like we were talking about. You need to know your history. So if cancer does run in the family, you are at a chance of getting prostate cancer. There are people, who have been celibate for all their lives, who never got prostate cancer, and there are people every single day but got prostate cancer. So it's not, it doesn't have anything to do with how much sex you're having or how much sex you're not having. So the only way you can guarantee if you are at a risk of getting a prostate cancer, to firstly research lineage yogobaba, lineage yagomalume, to see if anybody has had the prostate cancer. Go for your regular prostate, That's the only way you can guarantee it, whether you will get it or you won't get it. And now, even prostate exams, they can't guarantee that you will definitely not get it. It's just a 50-50 chance. You might get it, you might not get it, but it's always best to go and get it checked out, so that if there's something that developed from it, at least it can be found early and it could treat earlier than for you to wait and say, just because I'm having sex every day, I'm getting given my problems a prostate. No, it doesn't work like that.
Is very important, and obviously some of our family members didn't even know ukuthi yini yona leyo. Uthola ukuthi umuntu wahamba kuthiwa unomeko, unelumbo, unani. So let us look out for things like that as well, because some people only get diagnosed ngokwesintu, bangayi ukobheka ukuthi ngokwesilungu yini ngempela lemphethe. So amalumbo, izo zonke lezo zinto, check kwifamily yakho, ubuze ugogo ukuthi akekho wakwaba nelumbo la ekhaya, akekho wakwaba nesende and all that, and then it will give you an idea yabantu basekhaya. Ucindy Zemura Bernard uthi, I believe more education should be given to partners on this gynecology test, because if affected even by HPV, my partner can get it too. Those tests help to diagnose infections and help you about the importance of your partners getting checked. And also we need to support our partners, because if they get checked, it also ends up isiza nawe ukuthi izinto zingagcini ngene nakuwena.
Okay, so Mina, I always say that firstly, I always encourage people to stick to one sexual partner, because what happens, that makes infections and to keep infections in control. Because if you come into a clinic or any other medical practitioner and we find that you have an STI or an STD, we give you a partner notification form, which you basically need to take to your partner, and must bring it back to us so that we can also test your partner for the very same. Now imagine we have to give you 5 partner notification forms, because now all 5 of your sexual partners need to come in and get tested. So that's number one. I strongly encourage izinto zokuthi you must stick to one sexual partner, to avoid izinto cross infections. You might find that I didn't have the infection, but somebody else had the infection, and then now we all getting the infection just because one of us wasn't faithful. Number 2, whenever you start having sex with anybody, right, have the uncomfortable conversations. I know that a lot of people don't like talking about these things, but it's very, very important. And I know that abanye abantu besilisa bathi, if you ask them to go and get an HIV test done with you, or STI screenings, baqhamuka nalento yokuthi yini awungithembi yini. You do not trust anyone with your life. And I always encourage people, go and get tested together. Don't somebody go to a different doctor, and don't somebody go to a different doctor, because at the end of the day, I can fraud my own HIV results and say I'm negative. I can fraud my own STI sheets and say I'm completely clean. So go and both get tested so that you can know going that, okay, no, we're fine here, and this is the problem that we faced. And ungalinge nje uzuthi uyamthemba umuntu, you can, but don't trust him with your health. And you need to go for your regular checkups. Just because niqala ukuthandana ngoJanuary 2018 doesn't mean sekufuneni relax and now it's December 2020 and you never went back to get tested. So do your regular checks. Your doctor will also inform you about different things. Okay, Nina, you must come and get tested kangaga, maybe twice a year, maybe once every year. You must come in for your routine checkups. But it's very, very important to have conversations around sexually transmitted illnesses, STDs, infections, and that. So as much as it's uncomfortable, if you don't feel comfortable with talking to your partner, you can always ask them, and then maybe the doctor will explain it better to your partner. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, we are learning so much today. We are learning so much. It's very important to go together. Do not trust anyone. You can buy a HIV negative certificate on eBay. You can Photoshop somebody else's. Thina sibolekana ngama-baby scan. Ucabanga ukuthi umuthisile ungamuthisile. Ibiyini-ke i-test ye-HIV. So let us just be very careful. And if you don't, if you are scared to ask your partner to go for a test with you, that is not your partner. Wait until you find someone you are comfortable with. If you cannot talk about sex and STDs and their sexual past with umuntu ozwana naye, find someone else. You haven't found your person yet. If you don't talk with them about it, who are you going to discuss it with? Because awulali nabanye ulala naye. Uma ekutshela ukuthi ene akayikhulumi lezo zinto, umtshele-ke ukuthi nami angike ngikwazi ukuyikhuluma nomunye umuntu ngoba angilali nomunye umuntu. It's very important, guys. Kungaze kube late nje hey. Uthi Maduna Sime uthi mina ngiphuza amanzi ashisayo noma ngabe kushisa kangakanani 36 degrees ngiphuza amanzi ashisayo sengiwajwayele nje. I hope ukuthi avumelekile. Amanzi ashisayo anjani wona?
No, amanzi, no matter the temperature of them, they don't really affect you in any way. Obviously, some people who are asthmatic, it's always not advisable for them to take amanzi abandayo no ayisi. It just depends, obviously, on your health, you know. But if you're comfortable with amanzi ashisayo and drink just as I always say, just as long as you're consuming water. Ngaba yabanda ngamaphuma kwithephu ngaba ayabila, as long as you are consuming your water.
Thank you so much. And let us talk about Istelo Clinic. To a person who's hearing this word Istelo Clinic for the first time, what is Istelo Clinic and yini engayifika ngiyithole khona? Please just take us through everything about Istelo Clinic. Ngizokushare wedwa la ku-screen.
Okay, so Istelo Clinic is a clinic situated at eThekwini in Durban. We are Gusmith Street, so now it's known as Anton Lembede Street. We are opposite ShopRite Nehab. So we are at a building, ebizwa ngeSangro House, and we are at floor number 5. Our office number yethu office number 522. Now, Istelo Clinic is broken, or rather is divided into 3 different parts. So we have our medical part, where we deal with everything medical related or health related. So izinto enjengo your BP checkups, your diabetes checkups, your HIV and AIDS, your family planning, your pap smears, and all those things. We also get those done. And then we also have a men's health specialist who basically deals with all male related problems. So be it problems of early ejaculation, weak erection, low sex drive, low sperm count, you know, all those things. We have a specialist who deals specifically with those things. We also have a general practitioner. Now the general practitioner deals with everything as well. So things like from your flus, if you have a flu, you know, if you have a headache, all those things that you can just get. I need to see a doctor. We also deal with that. And then the second part of Istelo Clinic is what we refer to as the homeopath department. So the homeopath department is basically where we put, or rather where we examine you using a full body scan. So this full body scan, we can see your vital organs, you know, we can see your things like your cholesterol, we can see the way that your heart is beating and the flow of your blood and things like that. We can see izinto zakho, your lungs, your kidneys, isibindi, your gallbladder, and all those things. We can see if they are still functioning well. Now, we side like a homeopath, we use 100% natural medication ukuthi silaphe ngayo. And then we also do sell a few over-the-counter products. You know, we sell a cigarette banner. which basically helps people quit smoking, because as we know, we're currently facing a pandemic right now where it affects mostly your respiratory and like your respiratory functions. So it is very important that people quit smoking so that their lungs can actually start going back and performing at an optimal level. We also have imbiza yomhlonyane, which is one of our popular products that we've recently introduced. So basically, imbiza yomhlonyane is there to help you with flu and flu symptoms. So if unomkhuhlane or ukuthi ukwazi ukuvikela umkhuhlane, you can also come in and get it. We have blood purifier, which is our skin enhancing tablets. They basically help with things like eczema, pimples, izinto enjengembandamu, amathumba, izinto ezikanjalo. And then we also have a pain-free period. So if pain-free period is there for ladies, abahlushwa irregular periods, izinto enjengo-dysmenorrhea, clotting and all those things. So that's what the product is for. We have Imen Boost. Imen Boost is there to help obhuti bethu, no baba, who are actually sort of sexual functions abo ehle to what they normally know them as. So it helps with this endangering or early ejaculation and weak erections. So we have quite a big range of products that you can just come in and buy over the counter without consulting a doctor. We also have Gluco D2, which is used for weight loss. We have Cofilum Kaba if you want a summer body. So we have quite a few things that we sell. And we always encourage people to just come into the clinic, and we can explain it further, and maybe we can see what you need specifically, because we like to sort of structure our consultation in the best way that will help you. So as much as we have different departments, but we can always advise you that, no, maybe your problem is ibone department, or maybe your problem is ibone department.
Ay, siyabonga wayichaza, it's in and out. Uyakwazi impela ukuchaza. Siyabonga kakhulu. And guys, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do subscribe. With Telo Clinic, do I have to have medical aid? Do I have to be a millionaire? Abantu abanjani? Ngingaze ngiyihluphe nguthenjiwe ngithi ngiyafika khona kanti mhlambe kungena abantu abane-medical aid kuphela, noma kungena abantu abamamiliyoni kuphela. Ngicela ungichazele ukuthi, is it for everyone or is it for a certain class?
Okay, so Telo Clinic is for everyone, because we saw a gap in the market where we saw that private practitioners they're very, very expensive, whereas public healthcare uyasindelwa, and there's an influx of people sort of going to them, and bagcine sebephelelwe stock and medication and whatnot. So that is where we came in Telo Clinic to sort of bridge the gap between the two. So everyone can come in. We do take medical aids, but we only take medical aids side like a medicine. So the homeopathic side and lily side lama products, we do not take a medical aid for that. And our services are very, very, very affordable, because they start from as little as 40 Rand. You can get your BP done for 40 Rand. And isn't changing a full body scan, they're just 150 Rand. And then to see the general practitioner, it starts from 380 Rand. Same the men's health specialist, it's 380 Rand. So it's pretty affordable. Anyone can afford it. And again, we do not put a price onto health. As long as you stay healthy, you can always sacrifice 380 Rand, just so that you can live a bit longer and you can live a healthier lifestyle.
Guys, 40 Rands, that's less than a pack of cigarettes. 380, that's less than a bottle of ugoloko owuphuzayo. Kwazi kwabiza kahle. Imali yokungena eklabhini. Imali yokungena eklabhini, you can get a better health. Guys, it is up to us. You can be as rich as you want, but with a poor health, you are more poor than someone who's healthy and has no money in the bank. Let us look after ourselves. Let us invest kwimpilo yethu. Kwaze kwabiza kahle. I almost said good cheap, but I don't believe that there's anything cheap nje emhlabeni. as long as I'm paying ngisho ngathi uyi-cent, ayikho cheap leyo nto. But nje kubiza kahle, 40 rand is less than a pack of cigarettes. 380 rand is less than imali. Ngingasayibali-ke yomngcwabo. Ngingasayibali-ke yomngcwabo ukuthi ibiza kangakanani. Kwazi kwashibha ukuyoba healthy, kwazi kwabiza ukuyongcwaba. So let us do the right thing, guys, and invest empilweni yethu. Mina ngisazoba i-billionaire, I don't want any of you dead. Ngifuna ningibone, so please invest in your health, because ngifuna nibe khona uma sengiyi-billionaire ningibone. Uthi Maduna Sime, uthi in Pietermaritzburg sinayo iklinikhi efana nesithelo clinic na? Nikhona kwezinye iy'ndawo njengase-Pietermaritzburg?
No, asigagabi khona kwezinye iy'ndawo, but we are to expand. She can always research about private clinics akhona ngasekhaya, but we're actually looking into expanding the brand so that it reaches as many people as we possibly can. But looking to buy any of our products, we actually do courier them anywhere wide. So if Google to a product, but a consultation will be a bit difficult. But if she just wants to buy the counter, she can always contact us ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi simthumelele whatever she needs.
Hayi cha, nibiza kahle ngempela. Nanginojabulile uthi nje uJabu hayibo cha babiza kahle wozani eJoburg bo. Kodwa-ke siyajabula ukuthi esitholile ukuthi we can courier izinto zethu masifuna izinto. What about, especially njengoba sekuyile nto ye-lockdown nje kufuneka ama-permits ngapha nangapha, abanye bethu bane-anxiety, siyasaba ukuphuma siye ey'tolo, siyasaba ukuphuma siye la ekugcwele khona emadrobheni, siyasaba ukugibela amatekisi. Mengabe mhlampe kuwukuthi ngumuntu mhlampe oyithathela ama-ARVs, ngiyakwazi ukuwathola esithelo clinic, nanokuthi niyakwazi ukuthi ningikhoriyele wona, ukuthi ngingalokhu ngintanda ngiyowalanda. Mhlampe futhi angifuni ukuyodresa eklinikhi yangasekhaya ngoba kugcwele onesi bangasekhaya esothi sesidansa ephathini bangibuza ukuthi lawa ama-ARV akuphethe kanjani. So ngifuna ukuwathola nje in a way that is nice and discreet. Ngingakwazi ukuwathola, plus futhi nezinto mhlampe njengama-contraceptives niyakwazi ukuthi ningikhoriyele izinto ey'njalo yini esithelo clinic.
Okay, so izinto when it comes to izinto ezama-chronic medications, nezinto enjengo-family planning, it's always advised that you come into the clinic ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi sithole the best one that is actually affordable, the one ezokuphatha kahle wena, that will work for you. Izinto ama-ARVs, we do have izinto njengama-pickup points where we basically give you a script, so you have to necessarily uthathe itekisi uze edrobheni. If ikhona i-chemist ngasekhaya, you can just go and get them at the chemist yangasekhaya. If ubona ukuthi mhlambe say uhlala kude kunaseThekwini, you can always get that done.
Thank you so much. Bese ethi u-Esther where in Jozi, I think akazwanga kahle u-Esther, and ngifuna uma ngifuna any product, how do I get it due to this lockdown? We were just explaining ukuthi they do courier, so you can make an order of products that you need. You can go to the website or you can call the number here, but they are not yet in Johannesburg. So, but they are working on expanding. For now, the clinic is only in Durban. It's also Durban kuphela. Another issue yaze ngifuna uyichaze before silvala uhlelo ukuthi guys, please let me know if you know this or if we are just a crazy family thina ekhaya. Especially our grandmothers. Bayabolekana ngamaphilisi. If I have medication and we end up diagnosing each other, how dangerous is that, or how good is that? Is that still part of ubuntu? Ukuthi awunanga uthando ukuthi useshaya bhakuzelwa inhliziyo. Hayi mina nami ngiyawadla amaphilisi enhliziyo mnikeni lawa wami. Awunanga uthando okuthiwa uyajuluka. Hawu mnikeni la maphilisi ame-BP. Ngiyacabanga uthando i-BP ejulukanisayo. What do we say to people who diagnose each other? Oh, of course, in the spirit of helping and in the spirit of ubuntu, and who give each other amaphilisi. Bashare ugogo wami nje, wayithi mebuya namaphilisi sekune queue abachathazele. ngisho umthumela hhayi khona-ke uma umthumela waphesheya, ngisho ngathiwa wawusendawo e-pound shop noma wase-dollar shop ekuthiwa awezinyo. Kwakusukuma ngisho abahamba nge-wheelchair bathi hhayi ayalapha-ke lawo, awaphesheya ngempela. So please, ngicela usichazele about lento yethu yokudiagnosana neyokuphana amalokhuzana, amaphilisi nemithi.
Okay, like I think ngekhathi sichaze ekuqaleni ukuthi it's very very important ukuthi if ufika kwi-consultation udisclose yonke. Into eyenzekayo is that when you come in a clinic or rather to the doctor, when you come in, into eyenziwayo is that we do a consultation with you, you know, sibone ama problems akho ongase ube nawo, you know, siyazi ama allergies akho, sibone i-strength se-medication osidingayo. Sibone abanye have ama pre-existing conditions, like khona i-medication umuntu angayithatha if asthmatic. You know, so if mina ngingekho asthmatic, ngibona umngane wami ephethwe yikhanda, mase ngimnikeza into eyayiprescribelwe mina, that udokotela gave that to me because I was not asthmatic, whereas that other person could have been asthmatic. So izinto enjengama chronic medication, because even amaphilisi e-BP awafani wonke, there's different brands, there's different. So there was a reason ukuthi mawuthatha ama-chronics, they also take amagazi, you know, just to check a few things, maybe to check your allergies, sort of to check even ARVs, ama CD4 count, nani. And once they find that the CD4 count yakhe, then they know she needs to brand. So ngayekhathi sesishintshana ngamaphilisi, it's more really affecting the that amaphilisi too, because number one, that person diagnosed, you know, and enye into ukuthi ezinye izinto ziba nama-symptoms afanayo, you know, so uzothola ukuthi mhlambe mina ngiyajuluka kanti maybe ngine-BP, but it could be ngiyajuluka just because ngizongena umkhuhlane and I have. So if wena unginikeza amaphilisi okwehlisa i-BP because high and uyayehlisa eyami vele was low, so sengizogcina sengize mhlambe ngicishe ngimelwe inhliziyo because you gave me medication that was not mine. So ngiyacela, please, we need to make sure ukuthi ogogo abaphanisi ngamaphilisi, and I know them. Bayahlezi befika lapha eklinikhi, omunye sethumela omunye ethi uma sibanibane wamnikeza ukuthi nami ifune kunginikeza ukuthi. It doesn't work like that. Wonke umuntu uthola into that will specifically help them. Asikwazi ukuphana nge-medication.
Baze bathi kushuthi akangifuni lo nesi uMamkhize bamnika amaphilisi awu-10 mina unginike 6, kudlaliwe ngami. And ye-BP guys, sikhumbule ngempela khona i-low blood pressure, khona i-high blood pressure. So singanikani amaphilisi ngoba wazi ukuthi umuntu unani. Khumbule futhi ukuthi i-respect i-privacy yomngane wakho, ngoba okunye ngeke akutshele kona, uzokutshela nje okunye akutshela uhafu, mhlawumbe seyasaba nokusho ukuthi no, I can't do this because mina I don't only have this. We know stories, especially in the townships, where someone would say, I have a toothache, I have a headache, go to the clinic, come back with a newborn baby. All the time you are giving them the wrong medication and somebody is pregnant and they are not ready to disclose to you, this is what I have. So let us be very, very respectful, and also siyeke ukuthanda ukuvula izikhwama zabantu uthi ngeke nje uThenjiwe angabi nawo amaphilisi, uvula isikhwama sami uyozibona izifo zami ebengikufihlela zona. Let us respect each other. When we go together to clinics, let your friend go in by themselves, because they will end up going to the doctor and saying the wrong things because they are scared of saying everything in front of you. Allow people privacy when it comes to their health. Let them go in there by themselves. And some of you, you know, you are in relationships that have zero trust. So even your partner, let them go in by themselves so they can disclose everything to the doctor. Because in front of you, they will not say, last week I slept with uThenjiwe, and then Izolo I slept with uNothando. Because when I see they won't be able to tell unless you know it's a relationship where everything is out in the open and you trust each other. Because we end up putting a lot of pressure kubantu. Let us just make sure we respect our health as well as the health of those that we love. So ngicela uphinde usichazele ukuthi esithelo clinic sitholakala kanjani. Bese the last thing I said earlier when we started ukuthi we have a problem with utshwala, ugwayi, and especially with youth lencane, ama-drugs. What help can I get either for myself, a loved one, maybe a child, maybe a partner, maybe a family member, or an employee who is having a problem yezidakamizwa, including utshwala, drugs, and cigarettes, esithelo clinic?
Okay, so esithelo clinic, we do have amaphilisi currently in stock that help abantu ukuyeka ugwayi, isinemfu, habli, vaping, or everything that is basically containing tobacco or nicotine. So akhona amaphilisi, you take 2 tablets a day, that will decrease, number one, the craving of the cigarette, and will also simultaneously get rid of toxins lawa that were left by that. So we do have those pills in stock out 300 rand. Those help. And then for izinto ezinjengama drugs, alcohol and whatnot, we have IV drips. So we do have a detox program esimnikeza yona umuntu, where we put a drip on someone and we flush out those toxins. So Leo drip is 750 rand. So what basically happens is that you get a consultation from the doctor to find out, number one, what drugs you were taking, how long you have been taking them, and sort of what else you have been taking besides the certain drug. So again, if umzali and you're bringing your child, make sure that, number one, you have spoken to your child or your loved one or whoever it is that you're bringing, but they are ready to stop doing whatever they're doing. Because quite honestly, you're going to end up wasting 750 randi ngoba umuntu uzofika angadisclose yonke ama-drugs awadlayo, angadisclose yonke into ayithathayo. And then at the end of the day, there will be something that is left out that will carry on bring prevalence. Ubone ngazuthi i-drip ayisebenzi kanti that person didn't disclose everything that was there. So we do have detox programs that help abantu with getting rid of addictions. And then in terms of our contacts, so our address, Sigu Smith Street, igama lebhilidi Usangro House, sise office number 522. So that is floor number 5, office number 522. You can also call or WhatsApp us on 067 756 6425. We are on Facebook. Our Facebook page is Telo Clinic, and we are on Instagram, and our Instagram handle is @Sitelo Family Clinic.
Yeah, guys, that is so important. Ukuthi, do not go with someone who is not ready to get help. Do not go with someone umsurprising ngokuthi umyise eclinic uyomqeda ukudla lento ayidlayo. Umuntu akaforcwa, they must be ready. First, you need to talk to them nicely and calmly. And another problem esinayo, which is a side note, it's a topic we will be discussing very soon, is about us parents. Ingane mayifika ekhaya seyifomile, seyinuka utshwala, sifake induku, bese ingane iyahamba iyodla ama-drugs ngoba ama-drugs awanuki. Angizufika ekhaya nginuka ubhiya, ngcono ngiyidle ama-drugs, ngcono ngiyijove ngalezi zinto ey'jovwayo. So we must be very careful how we handle situations, especially when it comes to ama-teenagers ethu, because sometimes siyawubhebhethela umlilo instead of listening and getting them help. So it's very important again ukuthi mase umuntu esevumile ukuthi hayi mina nguThenjiwe ngiyacela bandla ungiyise esithelo njengoba kade usho, ungiyeke ngingene ngedwa ukuze ngisho yonke into engiyidlayo. Ungangiphelezeli sengiya kudokotela wami, ukufa kwami akwaziwe yimina nodokotela wami until I am ready. Ngoba mase singena lapha ngizothi hayi ngangabhema nje last week kabili nabangani bami, kanti uma ngingena ngedwa udokotela ngizomtshela zonke iy'dakamizwa esengiyidlile nazo yonke imikhuba esengiyigilile. So let us respect i-privacy. Ngiyabona ukuthi awasekho nama-questions esinawo, which means Thando uchaze kahle yonke into. Awu Ntombi yakamsomi uyachaza shem, angifuni ukuqamba amanga. Uyichaza nje ithi ba, abantu bangakwazi ukuthi imuphi umbuzo engisangawubuza la. Kuba yonke into ibe kobala. Cela nje usinike i-advice sesivalelisa, especially given leyo mkhuhlane esibhekene nawo. Ukuthi what can we do on our part to flatten the curve, and yeah, ngiyabonga kakhulu. Hey, lazi lamnandi uhlelo.
Okay, ngiyabonga kakhulu firstly for having me. And the advice engingase nginikeze iSouth Africa. I know that it's a trying time and into esingakaze sibhekane nayo lena qala ukubhekana ne-pandemic esigcina emakhaya for so long, but ngiyacela ukuthi siwalandele ama-government regulations. Senze sure ukuthi siyawagqoka ama-mask. I've seen a lot of people, umuntu efehamba estradini uyikhumulile i-mask and aqale igqoke ngoba esefuna ukungena esitolo noma usefuna ukungena ebhilidini or something like that. Make sure that you are not wearing the mask for the president, you are not wearing the mask for a healthcare practitioner, you are wearing the mask for yourself. Like I said, be very selfish about your own health. Wear your mask. And also number 2, let us wear our masks properly. If we go a mask, it doesn't just cover your mouth, it must cover your nose as well. Number 3, we need to ensure that we wash our hands. As much as the sanitizer, we are getting sanitized at every single stop, but it's still very, very important to wash your hands with water and soap. So a sanitizer is there to sort of if you are not at a place that is close to a running water and soap. So if usekhaya, there's no need for you to be sanitizing your hands. Wash your hands. And then again, stay hydrated. It's very, very important for us to stay hydrated, especially during the pandemic is beginning now. We need to stay hydrated. Make sure that you are actually consuming izinto zakho that are flu, izinto ezoprevent flu. Make sure that you are consuming vitamin C wakho kakhulu. You do go in, if ever you're feeling comfortable or you're feeling symptoms ongawezwa, call the helpline. It's always best to be safe rather than sorry. Ungahlali ulinde ukuthi no, maybe it's just a shortness of breath nyana nje. Make sure that you go in and you see a health practitioner, and then again, stay home. Now, social distancing does not mean you hanging out with your friends. No, it means you are staying at home unless you are an essential worker or you are out to get an essential service. That is the only way we're going to be able to flatten the curve, is if we all work together and, we try and get through this trying time as best as we possibly can.
Thank you so much, Thando. Guys, it is our duty to make sure we do our bits, we do our parts to flatten the curve, and we make sure we avoid ukwenza izinto unnecessary. Stay at home unless you are as an essential worker or unless it is necessary for you to go. Ayikho into ebuhlungu njengokuthi umuntu akhale ngokuthi yena ibhizinisi lakhe noma iy'cathulo zakhe, or akhale ngokuthi yena i-hairstyle yakhe. Learn a skill. I do my own hair. Do your own hair. Cut your hair if you must. Buy a wig. Do something else rather than taking a risk with your life to go uti mina. I need to get my hair done, because you don't know whose head they were touching. And let us just try and be responsible citizens and avoid izinto ezingekho necessary. Jobeshilo nohulumeni, stop kissing, guys. Kissing is not social distancing. So no kissing in South Africa. And let us drink responsibly. Njoba sekuvulwe notshwala. Siyabonga nothando, guys. Health is wealth. It is up to you. Do you want to be rich or do you want to be poor? Your health is very important, because ingavalwa ibhizinisi iphinde ivulwe, kodwa ibhokisi livala once and for all. So let's not see another bhokisi lehla liye emgodini just because we did not do the right thing. Your health is your wealth. Let us look after our health, guys. Next time we'll be talking also about financial education. Siyabonga kakhulu nothando. One more time, guys, please do take a number. Yasesithelo Clinic. If you want someone ofuna ibuke le show, it will remain, it will be on my page on Facebook and on YouTube forever. So just send them the link and they'll be able to watch it later. And yeah, siyabonga kakhulu, asakhane siyisizwe. Anything oyizwile ocabanga ukuthi khona umuntu omaziyo ongasizakala kuyona, ungamnika inamba yasesithelo clinic noma ungamnika i-link abuke le show. Siyabonga kakhulu guys. Sobonana ngo-7 lapho sobe sikhuluma ngo-June 16. Kungabe le freedom esasithi freedom is coming tomorrow. Has tomorrow arrived? Isifikile, yafika, yasifikela nani? We will be talking about that. Thank you so much. I love each and every one of you. Please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. Subscription is free. Mahala.